botella de cosa grabada. Balas. Cositas. No se sienta la vieja. Observar. Te voy a negar que tengo miedo. Sobre el... No, con la muerta. Por su valentía hemos triunfado, la guardia ha triunfado. Ok, llegamos acá. Tenemos para la derecha, para la izquierda, para el frente, para todos lados. Pero miedo me da. Gente absolutamente por todos lados, boludo. Y allá está la bestia, cara de pene. Oh, esto va a estar complicado. Dios me libre de la libertad del mono. No puedo abrir porque estaban blanquitos. Espectacular. Bien, llegamos a nuestro destino.
First, let's find this Petrescu fellow. How are you, boy?
I'm not your boy.
Era el orto. Estoy buscando a la enfermera Dorothy Crane.
Do you know Nurse Dorothy Crane from the Pembroke Hospital? If you
Never heard of her. She's pretty, I'll keep an eye out.
No, amigo. ¿Robó los medicamentos de ese hombre?
What happened? Did you really steal that man's medication?
Hey, I didn't do anything. It ain't me.
Quizá lo confundió con otra persona. Lo que hizo fue inexcusable. Eligió un objetivo fácil, ¿no? Yo qué sé, amigo.
All right. Perhaps the poor drunk just confused you with someone else.
Sod off, mister. You ain't got no clue what's going on here. Bastard was a soldier in the war, so now he's got the right to shoot me.
It's true. I'm not familiar with this part of town. Perhaps you could help me.
I said sod off. Go find yourself another guide.
Ya, amigo, tengo la escopeta al borde de tu cabeza, ¿eh? Calmate un toque. El verde creo que se puede elegir. El hombre que buscaba está muerto. Ah, tengo miedo, fatiga. Están todos hechos mierda en esta ciudad, ¿eh?
I found the recruiter you were expecting. He's dead, but he carried a note. The Wet Boot Boys have accepted your application.
I knew it! I told you I was tough enough. I'll be free soon.
Usted conoce los riesgos. Esto no es libertad. Usted conoce los riesgos. Es tan crédulo. Amigo, yo qué sé.
This note was found on a dead man, Albert. If that doesn't change your mind, then you must be ready to face the risks.
You're all fancy words, none of which concern me. Go worry about someone else. I'm fine and I have a future here.
Voy a cagar a trompadas, amigo. Lo único que sé es que voy a cagar a trompadas.
Goodbye, young man.
The Wet Boots will be proud of me.
A ver.
What? Shooting a boy in the middle of the street. Not the best thing to do, wouldn't you say?
What? You saw what happened? Who are you?
I'm Dr. Reed, and I'd like to ask you a few questions, if you promise me to set your gun aside.
No. Look, I'm not a violent man. I'm Benjamin Palmer, doctor. And no one can help me. Not even you.
¿Qué tenés, amigo? Migraña. Estoy buscando a la enfermera Dorothy.
Do you know Nurse Dorothy Crane from the Pembroke Hospital? Have you heard anything?
It's funny, I've been searching for her too. I need some pills. But the woman is a phantom, if you ask me.
Really? And why is that?
Word is she ain't real. She's a cover for some doctor who runs an illegal dispensary for migrants.
¿Será un vampire la doctora? Cuéntame sobre este lugar.
What can you tell me about this place?
Nothing to say, really. This is where I used to live, and this is where I live now.
¿No tiene familia?
You don't have anywhere to go. No family that would welcome you.
Not since the death of my wife, Albert's mother. She was sick, you see. Long before the flu and all this shit.
Quiere decir que su vida solía ser mejor.
You mean you used to have a better life?
Yeah, I had a wife, a home, and a job. I even used to have a name. And now I'm just Ben. Ben the Tramp.
Cagada, amigo. No. ¿Puede contarme sus problemas?
Perhaps you could focus.
I'm sick, broke, and my son just stole my pills.
Preguntas personales. ¿Por qué le disparó a este muchacho? Cuénteme sobre la guerra.
Whatever the boy did, I'm sure...
I swear I didn't want to hit him. It's just that I'm sick in the head, you see, and the boy just frayed me last nerve.
Cuénteme sobre la guerra.
What is it, Benjamin? It was the war, wasn't it? Your nerves are shot, aren't they? I need some answers, Private. From one soldier to another.
The doctors called me a liar, a coward. Put me in a straitjacket, locked me up. Finally, they sent me back to the front lines with a handful of tablets.
Estos son métodos bárbaros. No debería estar avergonzado. Contrólese. Estos son métodos bárbaros.
It's a pity that doctors still practice such barbaric methods. It's a dishonor to our profession.
Now only the pills stop me thinking about this shit. To not hear the explosions. I'm even scared of the dark these days.
Bien, carajo, bien. Hoy estamos bien con las preguntas, boludo.
A gun, alcohol, and a bad temper make a terrible cocktail, sir. Goodbye for now.
When science fails you, this elixir will give you faith again.
Good evening, miss.
Good evening, sir. Are you interested in a miraculous cure for this unknown and deadly epidemic?
Actually, I am.
Then you have come to the right place. The famous Swanborough cordial is all you need to help keep you in perfect health.
Oh, really? Why didn't I hear about it during my studies? I'm Jonathan Reed, by the way. Dr. Jonathan Reed.
Ah, my brother has spoken of your research, sir. I'm Loretta Swanborough, and it's always a pleasure to meet a fellow healer.
Do you know Nurse Dorothy Crane from the Pembroke Hospital? I'd like to know more about her.
I don't like to talk about competition.
Competition, you say?
Never met her, but it seems she provides some sort of medical care to the poor. The whole thing has to be some sort of scam, if you ask me.
Hija de puta. ¿Alguna figura local
Tell me,
intrigante?
who intrigues you most in Whitechapel?
Tengo
The
frío,
region
amigo.
itself is something to see, but I would say Camellia the mute florist who gives away her flowers.
¿Qué piensa de los locales?
What do you think of the locals?
Most of them are afraid or desperate. They all come to me eventually for my remedy.
¿Hay alguien que deba evitar?
Is there anyone I should avoid?
Cadogan Bates, without a doubt. The bloody bastard remorselessly exploits poor migrants as soon as they get here.
El que le salvé. Preguntas personales. No tengo nada. Negociemos.
I'd like to see what kind of...
¿Qué tenés? Medicina. Empresa en latín. Puede reciclarse para componentes. Nada, no me interesa. Ok, vamos conociendo gente. Creo que vamos a entrar ahí. A ver. ¿Hizo ahí? Tiempo, demasiadas cosas, boludo. La puta madre. A ver. Mm. Pensé que no tenía carga, la puta. Soy demasiado asqueroso, amigo. Eso menciona de investigación. Ahora. Bueno, a ver. Misión principal. Tuk tok tok.
What do you want? Leave me alone.
Good evening, sir. I'm Dr. Reed. I'm looking for Nurse Dorothy Crane.
There is no Dorothy Crane here. Now goodbye.
I'm afraid this medical leaflet says the opposite, sir.
Really? Well, I'm afraid I'm going to close this door right now. Go bother someone else, Mr. Doctor.
To enter that house, I must discover who this man really is. Maybe I could start by observing what he's up to.
No, usted.
Welcome, sir. Please, take a browse of my wares.
I'm Dr. Reed. I would like to ask you a few questions, if you don't mind.
Doctor? Interesting. I'm Barrett Lewis. Usually I don't have time to waste with talk, but at this hour of the night I can hardly refuse.
Have you heard of a nurse called Dorothy Crane?
Nurse Crane? So the bitch really is a nurse, then?
Para un poco.
Always thought she was just some crafty foreigner, that one.
Una excelente enfermera. Culpa a los inmigrantes por su puesto. Y intenta ayudar.
So she's trying to help her fellow immigrants. Why would that make her a villain?
Dorothy Crane ain't even a real name. Something like Dorothea Craniu. Something like that. Came to England fleeing the war, I was told.
That doesn't explain why she irritates you so much.
Your precious Nurse Crane gives away medical supplies and prescriptions for free. I offered to sell it for a fair cut, but no. Miss Crane wanted to play the quiet saint.
Bien, carajo. Hoy estuvimos, pero perfecto. ¿Cómo van los negocios?
How is business around here?
Business? I have no business. Between this racket, theft, and customers getting scared, I'm losing money every day.
I see. Sounds like you blame someone in particular for your situation.
It's no secret Joe Peterson spends his time harassing merchants. But with me, he's trying to put me out of business once and for all.
Bien, ¿ha perdido algo fuera de lo común?
As a merchant, you see Whitechapel every day. Have you noticed anything out of the ordinary recently?
What you mean besides the epidemic, the war, and all the usual crap?
¿La violencia está aumentando?
Violence is increasing in the borough.
Yeah. A few nights ago, some blokes jumped me. Came out of one of the condemned workshops. Fever, madness, something like that.
Where did this happen?
In the closed workshops nearby. I work there as an apprentice.
No hay investigación.
Have you been hurt?
No, but that's only because I ran like...
A ver cómo está de salud. Preguntas personales. No tengo nada. Negociemos.
Right then. Show me what you...
No sé si me interesa algo, la verdad. Muy bien, señor.
I know it's hard to believe, but this district has always been wretched.
Bajo la guardia civil. Este es el jefezote. A ver.
Excuse me, sir. I have a few questions for
Mira
you.
la barbilla.
Another journalist? I didn't answer the first one, so piss off.
I'm not a journalist. I'm a doctor.
A doctor, you say? It's quite a rare breed in this part of town.
Really? But still, here I am. Dr. Jonathan Reed, at your service.
I'm Joe Peterson to some, but Colossus Joe to most. And I don't remember asking for your service, sir.
Para un poco. Estoy buscando a la
Have you
doctora.
heard of a nurse named
Souls who dare to help the sick around here.
Could you please tell me more about her?
She's a nice girl. Tries to help the migrants. I offered to give her a hand, but she said my reputation would attract too much attention.
Acerca de la falta de
According to
médicos.
you, physicians are scarce in this part of town. Why is that?
Not familiar with this neighbourhood, are you? I guess your fancy colleagues are too afraid of being stabbed in the back.
This part of town does have quite a reputation. Would you say it's justified?
Totally.
Un poco más de-
What you do around.
I do whatever I want, and sometimes even more.
Disfruta más
A job?
I'm their muscle. Dirty work.
La supervivencia es una ley natural. Podría haberse negado. Usted es un criminal. Usted es un
You
criminal.
are a criminal who endorses criminal activity. The least you could do is stop hiding behind this pretense.
I don't care what you think, sir. I do what I have to do for my own reasons, and that's that.
I'm not sure Mr. Lewis would agree with your by all means necessary philosophy, sir.
Oh, do you really think he's the poor victim here? Barrett can be as sneaky as anyone. Long ago, I even called the bastard my best friend.
No puedo creer la cantidad de pistas que agarramos hoy, amigo. Es increíble.
Goodbye, Mr. Peterson.
Todas las que las acerté, boludo. No, soy Jesucristo. ¿Listo?
Hello, young man. I'm Dr. Reed, and I would like to ask you a few questions. May I enter, please?
Sorry, no, sir. My father does not like people entering our house, you see.
Déjeme entrar.
Your father is worried about you, boy. He asked me to look for
Harry.
Te robo un par de cositas, no te enojes.
May I ask you a few questions?
I'm not bothered. What could be worse?
¿Cómo estás? Tienes fatiga. Tengo para darte medicamento,
Do
amigo.
you know Nurse Dorothy Crane from the Pembroke Hospital? I'd like to know more about her.
Yes, I know her. She came here to examine me when I was very sick. She said I should go out more.
¿Cómo se siente?
How do you feel?
I'm fine. I mean, it's not easy every day, but I'm fine. I'm just tired of being sick all the time. If only I could be tough like... Well, you know.
Speaking of which, what can you tell me about your father?
My father is an idiot who makes idiot things. That's all I have to say.
No está contento viviendo en
Forgive my
Whitechapel.
bluntness, young man, but you don't seem happy living in Whitechapel.
Why should I? I never wanted to come here in the first place. It was my father's decision. And look around you. Does this look like a nice place to live?
Tiene un lugar que puede llamar su hogar. Su situación solo puede mejorar. Su padre hizo lo mejor que pudo. Tiene un
You have a
lugar.
roof over your head, a place to call home. Many people here are not as lucky, you know.
That's exactly what my father says. Harry, you should be grateful for what you've got. I wasn't even consulted when we moved here.
¿Por qué simplemente no se va de este lugar?
If life here is so terrible for you, why don't you just leave this place? Have you ever spoken to your father about it?
I don't go outside. It terrifies me so. I went outside once without my father noticing and I saw terrible things. bloody and frightening things.
So that's why you stay at home all day? For fear of the epidemic?
I'm not afraid of disease or death, Dr. Reed. It's the living I'm afraid of.
Vamos a Peterson. Preguntas personales acerca de Barrett, Lewis y su
Your
padre.
father and Mr. Lewis used to be good friends. What happened, Harry?
I was young then. I don't remember Mr. Lewis ever coming back again after my mother died. Or was it after my father started bullying him? I don't know.
Habló con el señor Lewis.
Have you tried speaking to Mr. Lewis?
I don't go out often, but yes. And he scolded me and...
No es culpable de las acciones de su
But
padre.
you are not...
Am I not? Dad always says that he joined that gang.
Te voy a dar medicamento, amigo.
Do you need any medical?
Yes, I do.
Administrar.
You'll feel better with this. But you need to...
I'm not sure I'm happy with the idea of living long in a way.
Goodbye, young man.
Bueno, si no te molesta voy a toquetear acá un poco de tu casa. Correte, cara de pene. Apa. Carta de rechazo. No quiero leer. Ah, Peterson. Ah, el padre es ese. Sospechan que alguien en su vampiro no intenten matarlo por su cuenta, no tendrían ninguna posibilidad de hacerlo, lo que deben hacer es comunicarse. Mirá vos.
I don't have.
Me salvé la vida. Acá está. ¿Por qué seguir trabajando para una
Why do you
pandilla?
keep on working for the gang, Joe? You know it doesn't suit you.
It's true, I hate this job. And
You could leave tomorrow. Start another life.
that's easy for you to say, Doctor. We are poor. My son's weak, and there's no way he'll endure another disappointment.
Harry no está contento viviendo un
Harry
grupo
doesn't
estándar.
seem happy living in White.
I've always put my son's interests above everything else.
You really love your son, don't you, Mr. Peterson?
He's my pride and joy. Even if he hates me for the choices I make and pushes me buttons more than he should.
No se arrepiente de nada.
Do you have any
Only one. Not to have my beloved wife by my side. She died when Harry was little.
No tiene miedo de que lo
Since the
arresten.
criminal...
No one will ever take my son away from me. If that ever occurred, I'd...
Goodbye.
Goodbye, Mr.